Hi everyone and welcome to DriveReloaded. So I'm so excited about this next guest. He is somebody who has impacted the world that he lives in. He is a social entrepreneur, a businessman that co-founded Silulo UluthoTechnologies. He is a mentor and a leader to so many of people around him, and somebody that we look up to. Now, we all know about what accolades he has under his wing, but we on DriveReloaded wanted to know who is he and what drives him. Please welcome Mr. Luvuyo Rani.
It's taken some time for us to actually get here with my network, everything that's just been happening. But thank you so much. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for agreeing to have this to interview with me. Okay, so not to waste any of your time, I think the first question was, it's one that I think a few people would have liked to know about you, is that being a businessman and being a community leader and being a man that wears basically a lot of hats, right? Which hat are you most fond of, or the one that you would say makes you most proud to actually wear?
I mean, it's I think it's a difficult question. I mean, I never been asked this question,
Wow.
in terms of like which hat I kind of appreciate more than any. Probably I love all of them. So I think being an entrepreneur is amazing. I mean, being an entrepreneur for me, it's amazing to be an entrepreneur, ability to think on something that no one have done it before and able to go out there and make it happen now. So I think that's what defined me. I'm kind of not just an entrepreneur, a social entrepreneur, because it's always about giving back to a community where I come from, where I reside for, or where I work for. Of late, I love to be a dad. So I love to be at home. I think COVID is assisting me a lot because I've been probably traveling a lot of the time and much more time at home, so always busy. But I enjoy this kind of moment more than any. In fact, I work much more better now than I used to work even in my journey of
living. Do you sort of think that where you come from, the Eastern Cape, has a lot to do with why you are a social entrepreneur, number one, and sort of what skills do you think you acquired, or lessons that you acquired in the Eastern Cape, or growing up from the Eastern Cape, that are still relevant to you right now in your life?
I mean, it's because I'm smiling. Your question, I kind of like go to the core. I think my background growing up in the Eastern Cape, Komani, have shaped me a lot to who I am today. And also the attributes and skills and characteristics that have developed over time has been based on, I've learned maybe from education and others, but I think the foundation. So the foundation of respect, of equality, and the foundation of value education, and then the foundation of sharing and caring and give to others. And I think it's that foundation of growing up in a poverty situation where we could not able to have everything that we not everything that I couldn't, because even education for me, it was a struggle. So I spent unyaka wonke komani not able to knowing in terms of, I mean, what's my career, because I remember when I passed 1994 with a great, exemption, and there was no money for home, and with my brother we together, and my brother ended up doing it drugs, and for me I was kind of like, the only thing that saved me at that time, so I was going to church on a daily basis. So but I think that closer to God and able to understand the situation and pray had shaped me a lot in that regard, because that time I was kind of feeling close to God in the sense that I was praying for just to get education. I was desperate to get education. and it was a moment, the lowest moment in my life, because when you are sitting in a township where your friends are at university are coming back and sharing how amazing it is, and nothing you share, confidence go down. So and there was no kind of ways that I could see that will happen in. So it shaped me a way to see life differently, and shaped me a way to understand that through hardship, you can able to get something that comes up through that. Now, so the humility, and also the being grounded, it's been because of I didn't have many things. I mean, there was no way that for me I could where I am today, because I mean the situation at home was not allowing. I mean, as in fact, my brother, he was a sacrifice. He sacrificed his part because he was waiting for me to finish school so that he can come. And he passed away. He could not finish that because the sacrifice was like. So that, I mean, it's kind of part of the big part in my life that it was not easy in the beginning. So that was part that, I mean, my heart is more for many who could not afford to be able to go and fulfill their dreams. Because at some point, I understand in terms of what is it to be hungry and desperately to get education.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear about your brother. Would there be something that you would say there's a mantra that you live by, something that sort of encourages you on a daily basis, or when you are going through the difficult challenges, be it in business, be it in on a personal, maybe mental struggle, whatever it is that you're going through? Is there a mantra or something that you say gets you through?
Well, it's not way too many. It's one part in terms of like, well, life is kind of different ways. But there was one person that shaped me when I was like studying in Cape Tech, finishing up my teaching. One of them, Mr. Smith. Last day of our kind of graduation, and he said something that, I mean, life is not about money, it's not about education, access and network. It's all about impact. So life is all about impact, because all of those things, you could have them, but tomorrow you will leave them, and then people remember your work. They remember what you've done to them. You will remember what they will never remember in terms of how much money or how education you have it, but they will remember the impact that we've made in their life. And that I took very serious, to extend that my life I dedicated to create impact. That if I'm not, and I'll leave a legacy. So it's always about, for me, to make sure that my generation, my surname, they will probably be remembered for the work that I'm doing. So all the sacrifice and work very hard is to make sure that the next generation that will come in, and then the kind of generation that will come in the township, in my community where I come from, could see that they could dream, they could make it possible. Nothing can stop it. It's always So I think it's part of like the shape that was shaped when I was kind of like a student.
Wow. And when you sort of want to, let's say you want to start a big venture, right? You want to move from one thing to the next, or start something huge. What gets you to actually take that biggest leap of faith and say, okay, it's scary, it's I don't know if it's gonna work, I don't know if it's ever been tried before, because I think the difference between people that succeed and people that don't is just people that try, right? But there's something hidden that gets those people that actually try, for them to actually say, okay, I'm going to do it. What is that for you? What makes you go, okay, I'm doing it?
No, I don't want to lie to you. People like us, like entrepreneurs, we make more mistakes. So what you see when I is kind of a success, there's so many mistakes that comes in. Even in my journey, I've made mistakes. I mean, like last week on the first last week Friday. So the biggest mistake I ever make is to open incubator in Mitchell's Plain. And it cost me a fortune of money. and I've lost money
Wow.
in that regard. So I'm closing now on the first in terms of the incubator, which is a huge investment that was meant for entrepreneurs. So it's a mistake that saying that focus in what you're good at and spend much energy in what you're good at. In the beginning, I used to host gospel artists and having them, it never worked out. I lost money. My wife, we bought a Kailicha Kasi backpackers, 14 room, where we used something like 2011. And for years, we never make money and we've lost money and we close it and then we give back to the owners. And then Pai Kaya Bazaar, where it's like it's a Pai, where rents now. So where we used to have our offices, my wife used to run a restaurant for 3 years, run together, never makes money, and then we've lost it. So I think life is all about trying errors. There's no, don't say like, these things. You go out, see opportunity, you think it's going to work, and you try it, and it might work. But I think what I've learned over time, if you find something you are good at, on that thing, focus, become master, and then later diversify from that thing. Now, don't do many things. That's kind of lesson that I've learned in the journey. It was all these things that I'm doing whilst I was doing Silulo, but I think I realized that if I focus and I have a laser focus on what I do, I could be great. And I think that's kind of a testimony that you cannot be a jack of trade. You must focus in one thing you're good at.
Wow, that actually that's so true. I recently realized this, our generation is doing this. YouTubers, they're becoming YouTubers and Instagrammers and all of that, and they sort of focus on that. Like for the first year or two, they build a following, they build people that they trust, and then from there they actually start businesses. So they're actually making money from being Instagrammers, but then they branch off from there, which is sort of it's so true what you're saying, and it's for me it become an aha moment right now.
No, I think it's also must remember also these things happens with the season. They are season. So now the season of digitally online now. So which means that if you came early and then you build your your fellowship, that you have it and you have a much more interest and engagement, you will make money quicker. But that is not going to be long. That window period is going to be over time. It's going to be closed now. You're going to have some few brands over time. But now it's a good time now. Do some take time because as a country, even Africa, we are in a space where digitally we are getting in now. And the COVID has forced us to where we work virtually, remotely, where we have to connect and where we have got a device. So that it opens up now in terms of, because before we never realized that there's a revenue stream through YouTube that YouTube can pay you.
Exactly.
Having more fellowship that you have it with you now. So as many people comes in, so it's like economics, demand and supply. So
correct.
It's all about scarcity. So you are the first one who will make money. But if everyone is doing it, then you are so you must always see the niche comes in and seize that opportunity.
No, I definitely missed the Instagram bus, but I'm catching the next bus, whatever it is. Mr. Rani, who do you look to for inspiration, and who do for sort of faith, and who inspires you and why?
Sure. That's a big, difficult question, a deep question. But sometimes I can look at Mama. My mother is she's a great inspiration for me, because this entrepreneurship flair and spirit I kind of get from my mom. When we were students, I was doing grade 8. I was unemployed. My mama used to do domestic work, and the boss. They've left to a different area, so she was unemployed. So she has to change now our dining room and our lounge to create a studio. So for many years home, I used to assist my mother selling customers and buying, selling in terms of that now. Even our household now, kind of lowest household was no one was looking at something can come up. So, but I kind of learned so much in terms of the entrepreneurship flair and the spirit, and so Mama, through limited education, she able to vuka zenzele, and able to, even when I kind of take a decision to resign as a teacher, she was there supporting.
Wow.
Even tough time, even when we challenged now from the tough time of the impact of the COVID. I mean,
yes.
Then Mama is always like saying, Nanam is going to work it out now. So she plays a huge role in terms of like shaping dreams for me, because I guess strength. There was a time early this year, I mean, COVID is like some smaller thing. There was a time early this year when I received a call from 31st of December in one of the stores, maybe VPU. They're saying that criminals are in the store, so they want us to pay. So I couldn't understand what payment for. So they asked us to pay protection fee for us to pay protection fee. So I refused to do that. They closed the store. They come again. They kind of rob us. They traumatize the staff. I mean, it was like a mess for 3 months. I mean, it was a mess. And there was a tough time because I didn't know who I'm dealing with. And it was a complex in terms of life. And even the area, Licha Park, people were dying because of the criminals were taking over now. And I went home. I went to my mama, and they've already, I mean, I find it in this stage now, all of these years now, I don't know how to deal with this thing because it's a complex thing. And really, I'm in the lowest moment in my life. And then we pray. We pray and pray and pray. And then I came back to Cape Town. And then from that, and all the pressures go down. So my strength is Guma.
Wow. That is huge.
So it's so Guma.
Wow. That is huge, because I mean, in times of people would have just succumbed to the criminals and said, okay, fine, I'll pay whatever you want. In terms of, protection fee. You knew there was something more, there was something deeper that could answer the question that you had at the time. That's amazing.
No, I think, I mean, like you must understand this, and for a source. I think the source of your strength you must understand in terms of, that's why Omama, Abazali, they are very important, because they are blessing for you. Whilst they are still alive, take care of them, because they are really there as a source of you. They know you, they bet you, so they know and understand in terms of, so in your journey, even how old you are, I mean, you still remain a child. And I think it's something that you must have a good supporting system, that you have it, because sometimes they don't have answer for everything, but the support that they are providing in you. My mother and my wife, they are source of support for me when I could go through good times and bad times, because they are there. They never leave me, even if everything can go up, because they are there. They really, I mean, like, so those family is quite important. It comes like family really get the strength. And I'm unfortunate, I mean, enough to have worked with my brother, and it's amazing how we work so well together in terms of like we are kind of one. Because there's
amazing.
In fact, not only my brother, I also work with a sister-in-law. It's kind of a family business. We have it, and that's the strength that I get, the inspiration I get, kind of like when I go through tough time, because these guys have always been there behind the scene. None of them wants to be seen. They kind of saying that, I mean, we work behind the scene, and unfortunately, we have this kind of support.
I think also part of, I think maybe why you also work well with people is because, and I feel like I need to say this, it's because of also your humble spirit. You've got such, and I must just, not say much and know my place, but you've got such a humble spirit, and like literally that is so humble, and you are approachable and reachable, which is a rare characteristic that is in business today. People think if you're in business, you need to be cutthroat, you need to be, nobody must unreachable. But I think that's an amazing trait that I've seen from you, and definitely will be learning from, as I grow as a person as well. So thank you for that.
Well, I think, like, if also for them, and it's been a learning over time. You learn.
Yeah.
You are born with them, some of the things in terms of like humility, but then because there's part, because as a human being, this tracing I've learned, outside people can see you as amazing individuals that you are kind of like inside with your staff member, they could see it's a terrible boss now. So I've learned in terms of how to become a better person, and I think I'm able to deal with my inner, things like ego, and I have to deal with listening, so that I can able to make sure that I allow to hear everyone who matters most, and able to be in the space where I kind of like connect with that. I think that's kind of most people. It's like when they go through, it's their ego, because the success, the money, and it comes to their head. They think they're invisible. They know everything now. And if they remain too grounded, these things. But you remain who you are now. So that makes you, to be approachable and reachable, and people can come to you because and I think something that we need to get back, because we all come in this life without nothing, and I don't know how we change
nothing as well. Okay, now my next question is, it comes in 3 parts, right? So what would you say to your 18-year-old self, and then to your 30-year-old self, and then what would you say to yourself what do you think your 60-year-old self would say to yourself right now? So 3 parts: 18-year-old self, 13-year-old self, and 60-year-old self would be saying to you at this point in your life.
So what I would say, 18 years old, for me, I would say, life has so much possibility. South Africa has endless possibility. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. As long as you are hungry, you could make it. So I would say that, in this life, that nothing is impossible. I can be wherever I want to be, even if I come from a space where there's no way. And then 30 years old, I would say, if I put something in my mind, anything that I put in my mind, it's possible. If I work very hard and I'm passionate about what I'm doing, and I've got a big dreams that I want to be, I'm able to be where I am. And then at 60 years, I could look back and say that through hard work, through passion, through living, through realizing that it can be, and done it, and now it's for me to give back to many young people to realize that nothing is impossible as long as you put your mind on something.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, and this one is also similar. It's a similar question, but it comes from talking to a lot of young people. I've got a lot of young people that are reaching out to me, on LinkedIn, and a lot of people are just not sure. Young people are not sure which path to take, and what journey and their careers are going to look like. They're just so confused. And what would your word of advice be to that between 16 to 25-year-olds that are just so confused, are feeling hopeless right now where they are, in terms of making career decisions and making career choices, and also just trying to find any path, whatever path, just to find a path and stay on. What would your word of advice or encouragement be to those groups?
So I'll say that we are in this time where there's so much possibilities, and a time where the world has reset itself. The way things used to happen, to be done, has changed now. We are living in a changed world, and we'll never ever go back to the way we used to do things.
Yeah.
So we need to accept, and we need to embrace the time. Then for you, 16 years or 18 years or youth, if you want to survive, navigate, and able to make it in this time now, in this new reset, you need to skill yourself. Very important. And I think we need to realize that education now is a lifelong thing. You don't get a degree and say you've got it now. It has to be a life. And I think a second one, you must also remember, we are living in the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes.
It's all about software. So which means that coding becomes the best language, programming becomes the best language, software development becomes, because we need platforms, we need big data, we need more in AI, we need more I mean, like in terms of like robotic. So we need people that are going to take the skills and use it to better our country now. And then the fourth one now is to say people that are going to save this, it's youth, and the youth that are going to save this, I mean, our country in this world, are youth who are inventors, who are entrepreneurs, who are scientists. So those are youth that are going to take this country to another level now. So we presented with much more opportunity to go deep and start our own things and build our own things and create millionaires and billionaires and create high entrepreneurs and social entrepreneurs. But now we kind of that space now where the world said that if you've got the skills, you could create an application, you could create a platform, you can. So the problem that we are seeing in your community in any way are your biggest opportunity for you to make it in life.
Yeah. And sort of now speaking to the youth, what about the older generation that feels that right now they haven't taken those opportunities? They haven't upskilled themselves, or they didn't take risks, with their lives, with their finances, with and now they are so in the middle, in that area where it's like, okay, what do I do? I'm not young anymore. I don't have a lot of risk, or I can't make as much risk. But I also want to be influential, and I also want to make money, or whatever. What sort of advice would you give to people that haven't taken the risks?
No, I would say, one, it's never be late. In fact, it's only good time now to really look at your life, because this thing of the life we know, but now you must be a teacher for 30 years or nurse for 30 years, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Gone now. So you never work in one job. You work probably 7-8 jobs before you die. That's one. But two, life now no longer been about 60 to 65 where you have take a package, and then like now life expectancy extended. Now you can go to 90 years.
Yes.
So any person who's probably about 50, 60, you are kind of in the mid of your life. So you could pick out and find yourself in terms of what is your passion.
Yes.
What's something that you love most? If you're singing or cooking or dancing or taking care, that you can make it as a revenue for you. That you can make it as a way for you to live it. And life's not about money. Love money, it's a good thing, but life is to find, the thing that you love most. And those things, that's kind of like give you happiness. And you must go on for them. Don't go on for money. Go because you follow your passion. You love what you do. Money will come later in terms of that. So it's to say it's not late. In fact, it's a good time to really live your life and say, you've got some skills. You've got some experience. You've done. Kind of where you are now. But through that, don't ever underestimate yourself, your ability to come up with an amazing ideas or to do things that you love. Follow your heart, do things you love, and it pays you, it gives satisfaction, but never do things because of your money. So don't look from that. Money must be a bonus of doing amazing things.
Okay, so money is definitely a bonus. Follow your passion, and that will lead you everywhere, basically, right?
It follow your passion with a clear passion and purpose.
Okay.
Because passion alone, it cannot yield any. There must be a purpose. You must ask why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Why, like you ask a deeper question like why I'm here on this. So once you understand your purpose and your passion, and then I can tell you, you've got the kind of solution in terms of addressing your problem around your life.
Mm-hmm. And if I could ask you, what do you think your purpose is? What do you think?
What I enjoy so much and I love so much is to inspire people. So my purpose is to inspire and make change and to be in a mission of saying that when people seize township or seize rural areas as no-go areas, as areas that none. So I kind of say that there's an opportunity. And I'm saying that people from area where we are, shift your mindset, think differently, seize opportunity. So I'm here as on a mission to say that it's not going to be easy. I mean, if I can tell you stories that where I went through with the difficulties from them, I cannot just come here and emphasize it's like it's nice, you are in the cars, it's tough, it's far difficult than you can do business in Cape Town. So, but if you are coming here, you must be able to have a deeper developmental agenda that you want.
Wow.
A difference, and that's what that's my life. My life is not defined by money; it's been defined by impact. That's what I think, and I'm here to, and I'm hoping in the next probably 20 years I will continue making that impact.
Yeah, I think that answered my next question. Is what's in the future for Mr. Rani?
No, there's a lot. I think there's a lot in the future. I mean, like people are asking me to write a book. So I still need to have a good writer, spend much more time and write a book around that. But I think where I love so much, I love teaching. I'll probably go back to teaching so that I can impact as many young people of South Africa. Yeah. Also, from consulting can spend time in traveling around and also be part of. I mean, they have strong views. People are saying that why not go into politics? Because of course, many strong views that you're surprised in terms of how I feel about it. But I think I don't see myself. I'm too honest to go to politics, and I won't fit in the politics. I think my gospel and my mission is to stimulate more entrepreneurs. I enjoy to see people are coming up and start their own things. It's like ways to have that kind of like, it could be maybe a foundation or academy or something that I will do to stimulate more entrepreneurs that will come in and to able to see themselves that they can grow and become a global icon of businesses. So that's how, for me, I'm saying we've got this business, but we need businesses that are going to go and impact the world.
Amazing. And any last words for Mr. Rani? Any last words to whoever's listening, who's going to be watching, and literally looking to you for the next move, the next. What would you say?
I think it's just to say, man. I mean, like, as you ask me deeper question in terms of like what shaped me out, like in terms of like your background. Background. I mean, it's quite important, even if you come from difficult and a challenging background that comes in now. Doesn't determine your future. You and your attitude that determines your future, and your future determined by altitude. I mean, your attitude by altitude in terms of where you want to land in your future. So it's all about your attitude. That say that I can do it, it's possible. Also, if people say you can't, you can't. If you can, you can. So it has to be your attitude saying that anything that you want to pursue in life, it can happen. But I think more than anything, even from, because I mean, like, there's many young people now. More than anything, it's like you must have patience.
Yeah.
And perseverance. It's this, to build something, it takes years. It's not going to be overnight. You're not going to start a business when you have education and then it takes years. And you just do what you do on daily, focus on it. It's going to pay you. It's going to make sure that you become significant. It's going to give you much more money. It's going to give much more status. And I mean, like, for me, I never even imagined from a Komani to a Kailicha to be part of the Davos or part of the Harvard or part of the global businesses. And there's nothing special. It's just like to do what you love to do and focus on what you do, that it pays you, it gives you credibility, it exposes you, it makes you notice and makes you to have access and network. Can't even imagine that. And I think it's something that I kind of say that to many young people, that they just need to focus on what they do, and then other things will take care of itself. Otherwise, if you are a sportsman or you are a journalist or you are nothing to come to you, man, just to say you are doing amazing thing and continue and impactful, and the careness in you, and also sharing many, and it's kind of amazing. And what we are investing in now, it will come back in many folds. But continue, do what you do. In years to come, we'll see your connection, your access, your network, all of these things, they will pay it in the long run.
Wow, amen and amen. I think it's just about, I believe in people. I believe even in people that don't believe in themselves. Because, it's so amazing how people can just transform to be, a greater version of themselves. And wherever you are and whatever space you are in your life, and that's the purpose of DriveReloaded, is people ask me about the name, and I said, it's because you need to take the driver's seat of your life. Wherever you are, you might have had a flat tire, your petrol is finished, you don't have energy, you don't have strength, but the moment you decide to sit in the driver's seat and not put anybody there and just drive your destiny, drive your life, that is the power. Nobody's going to help you. Nobody has to help you. Yes, people will be able to. Nobody has to help you, not your mom, not your dad. And the biggest thing was when I lost both my parents. And for me, I realized that, it's a bad thing. I can sit in my corner and sulk and be like, it's sad, it's whatever. But that's not the life I want my son to see. And that's not the life that I want other people that are going through the same thing to feel like, take ownership, be in the driver's seat of your own life and drive. That's literally the purpose of the show. Just drive.
You're spot on. No one owes anything. It's your life. Make sure that you make it possible, because it's all depends on you. No one else is going to make it.
Exactly. Mr. Rani, I know you're very, very busy. Thank you so much for to do this show. I mean, I'm going to go back and forth and take some notes and for myself. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I can't wait to, for everybody to see what it is that you have to say.
Yeah, no, thanks so much. Anytime you want more, I'll probably available. But thank you, it's been awesome, great and amazing thing.
Awesome. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yay.
I really hope you enjoyed that interview. And I know for sure that I'll be taking notes and making sure that everybody that I know hears about it, because there's such knowledge and information that we need to grow our lives on a personal as well as a business capacity. So I really, really hope that inspired you, and that you really will take the reins and be in the driver's seat of your own life. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, as well as share it with your friends. You never know who might need it. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, and don't ever forget to be in the driver's seat of your own life. Drive.